What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here bringing you some more Series 12 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Going back to some slightly serious teams, today we are using this really cool Dialga Calyrex team built by a friend, Ro VGC. Ro is an incredible human. He also played this at Seacaucus in top 32. He also did finish 6-2, but just because of the way resistance works, he unfortunately didn't make top 16, even though he definitely did deserve it because he had just such an incredible run. He started out 1-2 and ended up being 6-2, which in my mind is just overall, like I said, just absolutely stunning. So talking about a little bit about this team, I think it's a very interesting pair of Dialga Calyrex. I know it has sort of picked up recently, and it was definitely something that wasn't on my radar originally. Normally when I try and build, I try to have one physical restricted and one special. So it is kind of interesting seeing like that double special. I know that like I've used it for certain hyper offense teams, but never sort of in this regard. So talking about the team itself, first of all, we have Dialga. So Dialga is just absolutely designed to max and hit things as hard as it can. It has Life Orb and it has 4 attacks, right? It has Steel Beam, Blizzard, Earth Power, Roar of Time. So this is really your main sort of max candidate, and it's just designed to run through teams as quickly as possible. So next up we do have Calyrex. So Calyrex, in terms of its spread, usually is very standard, not much to say there. I think the cool tech here is speed swap, right? Being able to say, hey, we have this Dialga, which just can absolutely hit like a train. Let's make it even faster and go first before everyone. So I think that that's sort of a really cool tech there of pairing these two together and then just absolutely hitting as hard as you can. So next up we have Rillaboom. So Rillaboom, pretty standard here. We are opting with the Assault Vest. I normally go Grassy Seed because it gives you Protect, but I think the Assault Vest having that extra bulk, especially I can see that there is some a decent amount of special defense, right? Like that can really sort of make a difference for you. So really excited to see how that plays out. So next up we have Incineroar. It's Incineroar. It's Shuca Berry Incineroar. Like we know what to expect. It's Incin. It does what it needs to do, and we love it for it. Next up is Landorus. So Landorus really sort of our main physical attacker on the team. Pretty standard there as well. It does have the White Herb, which I think is a pretty cool item. It does give you access to Protect, especially with the Assault Vest on Rillaboom. Yeah, pretty standard Landorus. Really going to be our main sort of Yveltal answer. Otherwise, Yveltal can be a little bit tricky. And then finally, we do have this really interesting Grimmsnarl. So normally when people think of Grimmsnarl, they think of screens, whereas this one is kind of going a much different route, right? It has Sucker Punch, Fake Tears, Thunder Wave, and Trick. So it has 2 forms of speed control, and it also does have Fake Tears, which can be really huge with Dialga and Calyrex, right? Like being able to lower your opponent's special defense is awesome. Sucker Punch for breaking sashes, so really offering some great utility. So I'm really excited for that. And more importantly, this is a Gmax Grimmsnarl, so not super relevant, but having access to Gmax Snooze if we need it, it might come up. We'll see. So this is the team. We will have the paste in the description. Once again, a huge shout out to Ro. Also make sure to subscribe so we can get to 1 billion subscribers. And with that, let's just get rocking and rolling and move into the first game. All right, battle number 1, and it is definitely something to be a little bit worried about. It is Groudon, Yveltal, Venusaur with Incineroar, Porygon 2, and Grimmsnarl. So I really like Dialga Grimmsnarl. I normally would want to lead with Calyrex for that speed boost, but my main fear is this Venusaur, right? If it can go for like a Sleep Powder onto Dialga, we definitely want to try and avoid that. I think Incin is going to be a must here, and then probably Calyrex. Let's go Calyrex in the back. I think that that's going to be solid. Grimmsnarl can trick the Iron Ball onto Venusaur, so if it has a Sash, right, like we can get rid of that and then KO it with a Max Hailstorm. We do, like I said, have to be a little bit wary of Yveltal, but I think if we can put on a bunch of pressure with Max Hailstorms, we're going to be good. Yeah, so we just need to be really careful about that Yveltal, right? Like our only source of damage into it is going to be this Dialga, and if Yveltal is able to set up things like Snarls, like that's going to put us in a little tricky spot. But I think it's fine, right? Like Blizzard also just hits so much of this team for super effective, so we have that working. But like I said, because of the fear of Venusaur going for Sleep Powder into Dialga turn 1, I can't really afford to lead Calyrex, so I have to leave it in the back. But we'll see how it works out, and hopefully, like, worst case, we can get Yveltal low enough where we can just click Astral Barrage and be fine. But yeah, so it is going to be tricky, especially because like we don't have Landorus. But yeah, we'll see how it works out. I know he talked about having better options into Yveltal, but okay, Yveltal lead is fine. Yveltal lead is not fine. We have to... You could be weakness pop, or you could be trick eject. So I'm gonna swap to Ensign in case your eject button. And I'm gonna go for a sucker punch onto the Yveltal. We're playing a little bit passively here. What I'm hoping to potentially do is waste my opponent's max, right? Like if we can have them max turn 1, go for like an airstream. Like yes, airstream isn't ideal, but being able to stall this out is important. Like I said, I do want to be a little bit weary of an eject button on the Grimmsnarl, because if it is that set, we kind of just straight up not lose, but like we're on a huge back foot here, and I'd much rather take a little bit of a safer route and play it a little bit slower for now. And also if we can parting shot off the Yveltal, right, like that's always nice, as yeah, we are going to see this Yveltal go for a max turn 1, which is good for us because it means that you can't go for a Snarl. So that sort of is going to help us out. We do have to worry about light screen, but every turn that we're stalling this Yveltal's max is going to be good for us. And I'm honestly fine like sacrificing Incineroar if it means getting where we need to go, as we are going to see. Okay, so it is just light screen, which suggests to me you are not trick, but still, like, it's always good to be safe, as we are going to see a sucker punch. I mean, it's doing something. That was actually a good amount because of the Dark Aura, because this Grimmsnarl actually is adamant with a decent amount of attack. So it doesn't actually surprise me to see that damage come through, as yeah, right, like at this point you're going to fire off a Darkness. We're going to see that it is Life Orb on the Yveltal. I'm going to go for the parting shot. We're probably not going to get it, right? You're probably just going to KO Ensign, and I'm going to go for another sucker punch, just sort of chipping away at this Yveltal and trying to stall out its max as much as possible to get to the point where we can bring out Dialga and click Hailstorm. And honestly, like, no, I was going to say what we could do is we could just go straight for Calyrex the last turn and go for a Protect, but I don't like that option either. Ensign unfortunately is going to go down here, and it looks like the Grimmsnarl on their side is going to go for a sucker punch. I mean, not a sucker punch, a Spirit Break into my Grimmsnarl. So we are, yeah, I mean, like, Yveltal at this point is almost in the yellow, as Spirit Break going to come out into our Grimmsnarl. We do take that fairly well. You do have a speed boost on your what's it called, on your Yveltal and your Grimmsnarl. So this is a kind of a tricky position, right, where you do have the ability just to kind of keep chipping away at Dialga, but you only have 1 turn left of max. So I'm going to actually Steel Spike the Grimmsnarl. And my thought process for that comes down to the fact that you can keep Spirit Breaking me, and I'd much rather get rid of your ability to do that. So this will sort of let me handle that a little bit better, and then we stall at the Yveltal's max. Like, yes, I mean, Yveltal's probably just going to go for Snarl, so it kind of evens itself out. But we will hopefully be able to utilize just the power of Dialga to chip away at this Grimmsnarl. I mean, not this Grimmsnarl, this Yveltal. But I think that, yeah, stalling out the max is going to be huge. Sucker Punch going to come out here, right? We're getting that Yveltal almost to 50%. We do get a nice little critical hit, so I think that extra damage is going to help us, as a Max Darkness is going to come out into this Dial. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was a lot of damage, to say the least. Okay, and luckily we are faster than Grimmsnarl, which is going to be huge for us, right? Being able to stop it from getting off a Spirit Break is a big deal, and also because we've seen what's it called? We've seen the Life Orb. There is a chance that they don't have Snarl. So the big question right now is, can we, oh god, can we live another hit from this Yveltal? Because that's our win condition, right? We need to get off what's it called? We need to get off a Hailstorm onto this Yveltal to stand a chance. And unfortunately, it is going to be faster. This suggests to me you do have Dark Pulse. So yeah, we got to click Hailstorm here, and we just got to go for I'm going to go for a trick onto the Groudon just to make sure that there's not some sort of weird sort of speed interaction. Light Screen would have been real nice right now. But yeah, we're gonna give Groudon an Iron Ball. We're probably gonna get an Assault Vest. Yeah, unfortunate. Dark Pulse, please survive. That's so tricky. We should have brought out Calyrex. Yeah, so unfortunate here, right? Like, we're gonna see the Heavy Slam come out. This should KO Grimmsnarl. Yeah, so unfortunately, Dialga is going to be felled by 2 hits from Yveltal. And right, like, we're gonna bring out Calyrex, and what's Calyrex really gonna do here? Versus a Yveltal. So I guess what the better option would have been Landorus focus rather than what's it called? Dialga. We can click it. You could miss a Precipice Blades, but yeah. So I think that was my bad. I don't know the team super well, and I think that there are definitely better ways to handle Yveltal. I know that Ro did beat a couple during Seacaucus, so that was kind of my fault. We're gonna see the very safe Oblivion Wing here, right? It doesn't make sense to go for anything else. Lets you recover a good amount of HP back. So yeah, I think Landorus would have been the much better choice here, because then we can immediately put on pressure and go for damage, and yeah, so there you're just going to be able to finish me off with a Heat Crash. So good knowledge for next time in terms of better lead options. We could have also just done Dialga with Calyrex. Like I said, I was just too worried about that Venusaur, especially if it wanted to go for something like a Sleep Powder. But looking at my team, like, it doesn't really make the most sense to bring Venusaur, so definitely worried about something that I didn't need to be and it cost me. But let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, battle number 2, and it is Kyogre Dialga. It is Kyogre Sableye Charizard Dialga with Indeedee Male and Rhyperior. So not a lot of Pokemon you see really at all. Grimmsnarl really struggles here because it only has Prankster moves that will be stopped by Indeedee. So something to be wary of. Honestly, I think Dialga Calyrex is fine here. I want Rillaboom for my opponent's Kyogre. And then a question of what do I want in the back? Grimmsnarl is tempting, but I don't think it does what I want it to do. I'd rather have Landorus because of the fact that we have access to Rock Slide for Charizard. We have Earthquake for things like Dialga and Rhyperior. And it just kind of gives us some nice coverage. It also gives us spread, which isn't really a big deal with Indeedee, right? Yeah, because Indeedee Male doesn't get Follow Me. But yeah, we'll kind of see how this sort of plays out. I think, though, that just putting on a ton of immediate pressure is going to be great. Especially like if we see a Sableye, we have to be careful of, because of the fact that it can very well be Trick Eject. Because, right, what you have Quash, you have Will-O-Wisp, probably Ally Switch. So having access to what's it called, Astral Barrage and all these spread moves, I think is going to really sort of help with that. Let's just see what we are looking at, though, as we are going to see Indeedee Male Kyogre. So what we can, let's think about this. Do we want to just, I'm fine to just make Dialga hit really hard. Psychic Surge, so you're kind of slow. We're gonna see the Psychic Seed come out, and that's fine. Quake here and go for a speed swap onto Dialga. Let's do that. So that way, if you decide to go for a Trick Room, Calyrex will be the fastest thing, and that lets us kind of put on pressure. Also, this way, if you go for a Water Spout instead of maxing, which I think you might be, we'll be able to fire off a max Quake into you and do a ton of damage. So that'll really sort of help mitigate some of the damage, right? Like Calyrex into Ogre isn't always the most offensive, but this really should sort of put us in a dominant sort of position from there. And then we can kind of figure out what to do next. We don't have to worry about a follow me. We are going to see, yeah, we're going to see a helping hand come out. This could be Scarf Ogre. Okay, perfect. I was going to say this could be Scarf Ogre, and that would definitely cause some problems. But being able to fire off this big Max Quake onto this Kyogre before it can go for damage is great. Right now we're going to be at +1 special defense, and your what's it called? Your Origin Pulse or your Water Spout's going to be severely weakened. So we have that going for us, as they do just smartly opt for Origin Pulse instead of what's it called? Of Water Spout. But we can fire off another Quake here. I think Astral Barrage. We can click Astral Barrage. It's not going to be the best here, just given the fact that it's not going to hit Indeedee, and that's kind of what we need to hit more. But I think it's fine. We are also putting you in an awkward spot, right? Like, you don't want to necessarily max at this point, as we are going to see a swap from Kyogre. I don't think they have any flying type Pokemon, as we're going to see. Okay, just kidding, I was wrong. We're going to see a Charizard. So this is actually, this works out great, right? Because now we're able to get the Quake onto the Indeedee, which we would not have gotten before as a result of the Charizard coming in. It does a decent chip of damage, and now we are going to be able to fire off a really big Astral Barrage, which should hit the Charizard for a decent chunk of damage, and also to the point, right, where we can go for one more attack and safely expect to get a knockout. And that's really good for us, as Astral Barrage going to come out here, should decently, yeah, solid chunk into the Charizard. I'm going to go for a Hailstorm here, because that's going to set up Blizzard options for me, and then go for another Astral Barrage as well. I could have targeted down the Charizard, which in all honesty, like, probably was the better idea. It was 100% the better idea, because they're maxing the Charizard here. We could see an ally switch, you know, that would be kind of nice, potentially. But I mean, what's really good for us is the fact that what's it called? There's no sun and there's rain right now, which means that a Wildfire probably isn't going to do anything. We should see an Airstream though, as did I call that ally switch? No. Did it work out? Yes. So Hailstorm going to come out. This should definitely KO the Charizard. Yeah, we're going to have the Charizard go down. So Calyrex not going to do anything this turn, but you know what? Like, it did what it was supposed to do. We have significantly weakened two Pokemon at this point. We do have a very strong Dialga, right? We can go, I mean, we're probably going to lose Blizzard next turn when you bring out Kyogre, but I mean, it's fine. We do have, what's it called? We do have Rillaboom in the back, so we're really sort of just waiting for a free switch into that. Oh no, I was gonna say my opponent still has Dynamax. No, they don't. So that's good for us. We are gonna see a Dialga come out from them that cannot max, but it can go for, oh, we don't have Protect. I do want to fire off an Earth Power here. Astral Barrage is normally effective. No, what do I have in the back? I do have Landorus, so that's good as well. I'm just going to click Astral Barrage as well, just trying to get off some damage onto this Dialga, as we are going to see a Protect. I think that that's a very smart call. We could see a Trick Room come out here. I know that some Indeedees carry that, and also, right, like we've seen Ally Switch, we've seen Helping Hand. Trick Room is not off the table. Let's see what we're going to see. Yeah, we are going to see a Trick Room come out. I think that, like I said, is fine because of the fact that Calyrex is going to be able to hit first, and we should be able to survive the hail. Yes, okay, perfect. So their Dialga is going to move first, which is a little bit unfortunate, but not necessarily the end of the world, as we can click Earth Power once again, as well as an Astral Barrage. We are taking advantage of the fact that we do have, we only have +1 special defense. This is really annoying that they are still clicking Astral Barrage. We're going to see an Earth Power come out into my Dialga. We are able to take that, which is nice. Astral Barrage going to come out here. If we can get rid of the Indeedee, I think that that puts us in a pretty solid position, especially given the fact that, I mean, that's good. That's good damage. That's really good damage. Astral Barrage going to come out. We're finally going to get rid of this Indeedee, so you can't keep going for ally switch. We might actually lose Dialga here. Okay, so we're probably gonna lose both, which is fine with me. It's fine with me. Yes, okay, it's fine with me. This is actually a little bit tricky. This is tricky because Landorus is Earthquake and Rillaboom. Okay, let's think about this. So Rillaboom has the Assault Vest. We're probably faster than Kyogre. This endgame is tricky. The obvious play is just to attack into Ogre. I think we should be able to survive a hit. We should be able to survive a hit from Dialga. I'm just gonna pressure the attack into Ogre. It very well could be. Oh, there's no Protect, so it's probably Assault Vest, which is good. We're gonna get rid of that. It still is not necessarily over. It's not necessarily over. Flash Cannon gonna come out. This should be going into Rillaboom, into Landorus. Unfortunate that did so much damage, but we are gonna get some solid chip onto this Dialga. And more importantly, right, like you have to spend at least another turn getting rid of Landorus. There are 2 turns left of Trick Room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to still go for the Rock Slide anyway. And I'm going to click High Horsepower, right? Like we can get the damage there. And I can't really see a good way for you to KO both of my Pokemon, as yeah, it is going to go into Landorus. So that's fine. We are going to get the High Horsepower off. And I'm guessing that this should hopefully at this range be enough, right? Survey says, boom, perfect. So glad we were able to pull that one off. It definitely was a pretty tricky endgame, but Dialga just absolutely shredded through, especially after that speed boost. So I think that that's a really cool kind of way to play Dialga. Not something that I've experimented with before. I really like the 4 attacks there. Just the coverage you get is really great. So overall, really solid second battle, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and play one more. All right, last battle of the day, and it's something I haven't seen in a while. It's Rinya Sun. So it is Groudon, Zacian, Incineroar with a Gastrodon, Charizard, and Grimmsnarl. Landorus Calyrex is not bad here because of the fact that I can skill swap onto, or I can speed swap onto Landorus. No, let's do Dialga. I like Dialga Calyrex. We can change the weather if you lead Charizard, so I think that that's important. I think Rillaboom and then Incineroar are going to be sort of the last sort of pieces of the puzzle here. Yeah, I think we need Rillaboom mainly for Gastrodon, and then this should kind of help us wrap things up. I am expecting, like I said, to see a lead of Groudon Charizard. So being able to immediately change the weather versus Charizard and get a ton of damage onto it, I think is going to be hugely important. It is going to put our poor little friend into an awkward spot, but it's fine. As, yep, there is Charizard with Groudon, and we can very easily just go for a big Hailstorm. Why can I go? I could go for Dragon. That's the thing. I don't know if Wormwind will KO Charizard, but I feel like it will. And by I feel like it will, I'm going to go for it. Let's Wormwind into Zard and then go for a speed swap onto Dialga. Right, just trying to get as much damage as possible. We do have to be wary of Precipice Blades, so I think that this is sort of a good happy medium, right? We are going to, unfortunately, let Charizard maintain its weather, but I mean, that's also not necessarily a quote-unquote bad thing, especially if you target down Calyrex, right? Like if you go for a Wildfire into Calyrex, you're wasting a turn of max, and it's letting Dialga maintain its speed control. So that's going to be huge. We're also seeing, oh, you're maxing Groudon. You're maxing Groudon. Maxing Groudon is fine. We're going to get you to -1 attack right off the bat, which is a big deal. It also means that we should be able to maintain Calyrex's Focus Sash for a turn, which is really nice for us. But it is going to be a little bit tricky. We are seeing just Helping Hand, so not really what I was expecting at all. But, right, we are going to be able to fire off Big Max Dragons onto the, what's it called, the Groudon to stop any sort of boost. We are just going to straight one-shot that, what's it called, that Zard, which, I mean, no one is shocked. Getting the attack drop onto this Groudon is going to be nice, but we are going to still have to take a really, really big Max Quake coming out onto probably Dialga, right? Into Dialga. That is some thick damage right there. But we can bring out Ensign. You no longer have the Helping Hand boost, so we can really just sort of put on a ton of pressure right off the bat, as we are going to see Ensign of your own come out here. Question is, what do I want to target down at this point? I would like to Wormwind the Ensign and bring out my own Ensign. I think that makes the most sense, because that is something that is going to challenge Calyrex. So being able to sort of have that option is going to be a big deal. And we can reset the speed change on Calyrex, which I think will help in the end game. We do obviously still have to worry about Groudon. We do need to get Groudon damaged at some point, but this should sort of help. We are going to see no switch from Ensign. It should be a parting shot, and at this point, I'm hoping. Oh, that would have been actually. I think it's no. I was gonna say I think it's fine that we don't get the KO there, but it's kind of tricky. We're gonna see another Quake come out onto Dialga. Dialga is unfortunately going to go down here, but we do have Ensign out at this point, and more importantly, right, your Ensign is low enough where we can go for a we can go for an Astral Barrage and get the knockout, which I think is huge. So we sort of we're gonna see Parting Shot come out. We just switched in, so we do have the ability to go for Fake Out, which is nice. And then we can Fake Out into your Zacian, which I'm assuming is going to come out, right? Yep, we are going to see Zacian here. What do? We chip damage. We chip with Calyrex. Chip with Calyrex, swap into Rillaboom, right? Yeah, we swap into Rillaboom here. I'm not saying it's a good idea. The Protect was also very obvious. But you know what? Sometimes it's fun to live a little dangerously. We are going to be able to fire off a Flare Blitz. Groudon is at like -800, so I can't see it picking up a knockout onto my Incineroar. Okay, so, perfect. You target down into Calyrex, right? Like expecting to kind of put on pressure that way. We should see a swap, I'm guessing, from probably the Zacian into Ensign. So that's sort of fine with me, right? We have the ability just to click Astral Barrage at this point, as well as Flare Blitz onto the Zacian slot. You are basically forced to, right, attack. Yeah, you can switch out. If you switch out into Ensign, right, we get a guaranteed knockout. We are going to see the Groudon swap out into Ensign, which I think is a fine sort of swap out, as we can put on some pressure with Flare Blitz, and then I'm hoping a combination of Flare Blitz and Astral Barrage can pick up the knockout onto the Zacian. So going to fire off just a ton of damage here. Going to, oh, wow, you are very bulky. That was not supposed to happen. We're going to see the Sacred Sword come out into Ensign. Ensign, unfortunately, going to go down here. But more importantly, right, like we are going to be able to fire off an Astral Barrage and get Calyrex to +1, which is going to be really sort of beneficial for us. Zacian, God, why are you still alive? The crit on Ensign didn't matter. But at this point, right, I don't know if you're in Grassy Glide range. That's so tricky. Like, I want to attack into Zacian. Groudon's gonna come out here. I want to fake out into Groudon. Okay, let's do this. Let's fake out into Groudon and go for an Astral Barrage, expecting a protect from Zacian, right? Like, you should protect Zacian, so we can go for a fake out here. Yes, okay, this is, yeah, perfect. We're gonna see the fake out. I mean, not the fake out, the protect, which means that we can go for a fake out onto this Groudon, firing off an Astral Barrage. This is going to be +1. So the big question now is, how much attack do we have? We're at 116. Astral Barrage, okay, so that looks like you're in range of, what's it called? A Grassy Glide. So this is still tricky. I'm going to click Astral Barrage here and then go for a Grassy Glide onto this Groudon. So the question is, I mean, I hope I can survive a Blade. We are going to be able to fire this Grassy Glide off. Should KO the Groudon. Perfect. We should see Zacian go for a Behemoth Blade into Calyrex, right? Like, you have to target Calyrex at this point. Yeah, Calyrex is going to go down. So it really comes down to, can we survive a Behemoth Blade? Because if we can, we get the high horsepower and knock out the Zacian. So yeah, really sort of moment of truth here. I can't risk the Grassy Glide. I want to say you can survive a Blade, right? Like that sort of just feels like a standard Zacian calc. I like that play, opting for a little bit more HP recovery. Also probably trying to stall out the grassy terrain, hoping that I can't glide into you for the knockout, but I need to really go for pressure this way. Yeah, like I said, so it really comes down to, can we survive the Blade? I know that some Rillabooms can. I just don't know if 20 defense and max HP is enough. Come on. Okay, that looks, yes! Perfect. And then just hit the high horsepower. Sick. Scary endgame. Glad we were able to pull that one off. Huge shout out to Ro for the team. We definitely will be using it next time. Make sure to check out Ro, follow him on social media, and give him a huge shout out. And definitely make sure to subscribe so we can hit 1 billion subscribers. And with that, until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.